Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. I really hope you're all well. First of all, I look like the fourth member of Alvin and the Chipmunks right now. That would be because my wisdom tooth is so swollen on this side of my jaw and it's really irritating me, but I can just see in the screen like how swollen I look, so I'm just going to draw attention to it now and then we can just not talk about it again. But yes, hi, welcome back to my channel. I really hope you guys are all well. Today I wanted to come at you with a January TBR video. Now, I really haven't done a TBR video in the longest time, and the reason for that is because, as I've said like a million times on this channel, I am such a mood reader and I prefer to just like pick things up as and when, and yeah, just whatever the mood takes me to read really, which means that I struggle to keep to TBRs quite a lot. But I'm really determined this year to try and film just some more TBRs and wrap up videos and things like that, as well as kind of the other videos that I do. So I'm starting off with a TBR. I don't know if you'll get a January wrap up. I don't know if you'll get a February TBR. Like, I don't know if this is going to be a thing that I do kind of all the time, but yeah, I wanted to start the year off with one. So that is what we're doing. Because I kind of said in one of my recent videos that I wanted to try and read a little bit like slower and a little bit more considered in 2022, I am choosing less books for my TBRs. I'm choosing more attainable TBRs, and so for January I've only put 6 books on mine. Granted, 2 of them are super thick, so yeah, but I wanted just to see if maybe setting smaller TBRs encourages me to actually read the books that I've chosen, rather than just kind of getting overwhelmed and like picking up anything else other than what I've kind of set aside to read, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to get on with the video and talk you through the books that I've chosen for January. I feel really out of practice filming and I don't know why, because I literally filmed like 2 videos last week, but here we are. Okay, so the first book that I want to talk to you guys about is Plain Bad Heroines by Emily Danforth. Also, look at how weird the top of this has gone. Like, I hate the fact that everywhere in my room all my books get a little bit of sun damage, because there's literally nowhere that I can store them, like even on this bookcase where the sun doesn't hit them directly. It's so frustrating, and that has been like in a pile with other books and it has the most frustrating sun damage, so love that for me. Anyway, Plain Bad Heroines by Emily Danforth is like a dark academia type book, and it is about a kind of school for girls, and in the 1990s 2 girls who were together died from this horrific wasp attack, and then I think a few more kids started dying and they like shut down the school or something, and then the school becomes like the set of a horror movie that is kind of dedicated to that story, and I guess it's like retelling what happened there, but then history kind of starts to repeat itself. So it sounds really interesting, and there was like a bit in the blurb that was like soon it's impossible to tell quite where the curse ends and Hollywood begins. I've had this on my TBR a few times over the last few months, but just because it's so thick I just haven't got round to it, so I'm determined in January to try and set aside the time to read this, and yeah, I'm really excited. I think it's going to be just a really fun read. I'm hoping it's kind of fast-paced. I think it will be, but then also I haven't really heard that many people talking about this since it was initially released, so I don't know, we'll see. But I love the cover for this as well. I'm just like kind of obsessed. Like, I don't know what it reminds me of, but it reminds me of like, something anyway. And yeah, I'm really excited to get stuck into this. Next up we have Chain of Iron by Cassandra Clare. I've had this on so many TBRs at this point that if I don't read it in January I'm actually going to get really angry at myself. This is the second book in the Last Hours series / trilogy. I'm not sure how many books are going to be in this, and it basically follows along obviously from the events in Chain of Gold, which I have sat down here. Now, I really loved Chain of Gold and I found it so fun and so like fast-paced and exciting. I enjoyed being back with those characters from the Dark Artifices. I really love the dynamic between their children, and I don't know, I really enjoyed it. So I don't know why I haven't picked this up, but I heard a few people, I think on Booktube, saying that it wasn't as good as the first one, and then it's just kind of not been a priority. And I've literally had this since like March or whenever it was that it came out in 2021, so I really just wanted to clear it off my TBR this month, and either enjoy it and keep it or unhaul it, whatever, if I'm not loving it. But I just really cannot be bothered to look at it in my physical TBR pile any longer. So this is like a priority that I have to read in January. And I've decided that kind of each month as well, I'm going to try and include one of the books that's been on my physical TBR for like too long, because I have some on that TBR that have literally been there now for like 2 years, and it's starting to drive me insane. So each of those, like one of each of those books is going to be included in every single monthly TBR in 2022 until I've read them all. And then I don't have to look at them anymore, basically. Which is also kind of the case for this one as well, which is Conversations with Friends by Sally Rooney. So this is about a group of 4 friends and just kind of like how their relationships with each other kind of interweave and develop and everything else. I think it starts off with so it starts off with Frances and Bobby, who used to be together and then split up, and then they meet Brittany and Nick, and then the 4 of them become friends, and I think Frances and Nick start to like get a bit closer, and it's all about kind of their friendship group and how it develops. So I'm quite excited because I did love Normal People. I just don't know why I haven't read this sooner. I think, I don't know, sometimes I like really love an author and then I get almost like put off reading their next book in case it like doesn't live up to the same expectations as the first ones had for me. I think that's what it is. I don't know. But yeah, I really need to read that in January. I'm also really excited to read Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. So I've heard like great things about this, and I believe it's about kind of like a young, quite naive girl who gets proposed to by a lord of some description, or like one of the aristocracy, and she gets taken to his estate in Manderley, and I think it's kind of like almost like haunted by his ex-wife or his first wife. And yeah, I've heard so many amazing things about it, and I think it's like a really accessibly written classic as well. So I've been wanting to read it for months, but again, I haven't prioritised it, so I would like to prioritise it in January because it feels like a very January read. You know, January is a very bleak and cold month in the UK, and everything's still very grey, and everyone's kind of miserable after the festive season and stuff. So I feel like that's maybe the perfect setting for like a gothic classic. So I'm very excited to delve into this. Then we have a read that I actually picked up recently, and this is City of Thorns by C.N. Crawford. Now this I think is the first, it's the first in the Demon Queen trials. I don't know if that's going to be a series or a trilogy, but it's about a girl who on her birthday gets taken prisoner by a demon called the Lord of Chaos because he thinks that she is a succubus. She basically has this like succubus doppelganger, so he takes her and kind of imprisons her and then realizes that she's mortal, but she kind of strikes up a deal to stay in his like underworld because she's hunting for her mum's killer. But the interesting thing is that he is her #1 suspect, so I think it's going to be quite interesting. It's also quite a short little book, so I'm excited to see. I've not really read any like self-published like fantasy in quite some time, so I'm excited to see like if this is going to be good or if it's going to kind of disappoint. I don't know. Also, the front cover reminds me so much of Game of Thrones. I don't know how I feel about that. Lastly, we have Jade City by Fonza Lee. Now this is a trilogy that, well, this is the first book in the trilogy, but this trilogy in general I feel like has been doing the rounds loads on Booktok and Booktube recently, and I don't know, I'm really excited to read it. I've heard so many people talking about it and it's just made me super curious. So when I went into Waterstones the other day and saw that they had the first book in stock, I had to get it. And this is kind of like an urban fantasy. I feel like it's kind of maybe a little bit futuristic, and it's inspired by Hong Kong kind of like gang movies and stories. And basically jade is almost like a drug, I guess, where warriors can use it to like enhance their strength and their skills. And then there is a drug on the market that kind of allows everybody to wield jade, like even foreigners, and it sparks up some tensions, and I guess it's going to be kind of like, I don't know, maybe some like gang warfare and stuff. I'm so excited to read this. So this is definitely one that I think I'm probably the most excited to read in January, but it's probably the one that I'm going to wait to read because I'm going to force myself to try and read the ones that I'm less excited about first before I crack into this one. But yeah, I can't wait. I'm really excited, and yeah. So that, my friends, is my January TBR. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Sorry again if my energy is a bit weird. Like, I don't know, I feel weird filming this today. I don't know if it's because of my tooth, I don't know what it is, but I feel like kind of out of practice and a little bit like, so I really hope that you've enjoyed the video anyway. If you have, please, as always, give me a thumbs up, let me know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe if you are new, and I will see you in another video very soon. Bye guys.